I sincerely thank the gentleman for his comments. Without objection, any prepared statements that our witnesses may have will be included in the record. I'd like to welcome our first panel, Chairman Mark Amodei and Acting Ranking Member Lauren Underwood, Chairman Mario Diaz-Balart, and Ranking Member Barbara Lee, Chairman Ken Calvert, and Ranking Member Betty McCollum from the Committee on Appropriations. We'll start with Chairman Amodei. Where are you? And I welcome your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member. I have lost a little weight, but not enough to fit in the palatial surroundings of your hearing room. So if you don't mind, I'll stand instead of doing the bowling pin thing. First of all, I know that everybody's familiar with
I'm not sure that they can hear on the microphone.
And for the
television.
I mean,
Yeah, please sit down for the West Coast crowd.
Well, the face made for radio, I don't think the audience would care. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member. For your record, my name is Mark Amodei, representing Nevada's 2nd Congressional District, here to present the 2025 Homeland Bill. I know that the committee members and the staff are familiar with the contents of the bill from listening to both opening statements, so I won't regurgitate that and make my intro remarks crisp in order to free up as much time as possible if there are questions from the committee. The bill before us provides $64.8 billion for the Department of Homeland Security, an increase of $2.9 billion above the fiscal year 2024 level. In addition, it includes $22.7 billion for disaster response and recovery activities. It prioritizes investments that, in our view, make the border more secure and makes appropriate cuts into policies and programs we know do not work. Treating the border crisis as an issue that can be managed solely by providing grants to NGOs only further incentivizes legal immigration and does not work. Last year, we funded $1.7 billion for tents to process an unprecedented number of aliens that continue to cross between the ports of entry under this open border policy presently in effect. Has spending billions of taxpayer dollars for processing tents along the southern border just to release aliens into the interior at a rapid pace reduced illegal immigration at all? We think it's not working. So we eliminated that funding in this bill. And for shelter services grants, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars in places like New York City, Chicago, and D.C. to pay for transportation, hotels, and other services for migrants. Those very mayors of those cities have declared the migrant influx untenable. Does giving additional services and transportation money to nonprofits to reduce encounters or deter anyone from crossing illegally? Again, I think the answer is a resounding no. And by the way, this administration gleefully terminated every preceding administration's border-related executive order the minute they took office. This is why this bill invests in tried and true methods of securing the border that the men and women in the field are asking for. More agents, more detention beds, which, by the way, was in the Senate bipartisan bill that's already been mentioned, better technology, and physical barriers. The bill makes the following specific border security investments: sustains funding for 22,000 Border Patrol agents, $300 million for border security technology, a record level in that department. That includes autonomous surveillance towers, mobile surveillance platforms, counter-tunnel equipment, and a significant investment in counter-drone capability. $600 million for the border wall because we know physical barriers work at those high-traffic areas. And finally, $305 million in non-invasive inspection equipment and upgrades so that we can detect fentanyl at our ports of entry. In addition to our efforts at the border, the bill includes funding for critical immigration enforcement efforts, such as $3.1 billion to support the 50,000 detention beds. That's 8,500 more beds than were funded in the last cycle, and 16,000 more than the administration requested. $822.7 million for flights and ground transportation for ICE to execute its statutory authority to remove more than 1.3 million migrants who are still in this country despite having final orders of removal. and $60 million to hire 250 new law enforcement officers to investigate international criminal activity and keep our community safe. That translates to fentanyl. The bill also makes critical investments outside the border. TSA, we provide $178 million to speed up the computed tomography screening device efforts at our nation's airport. Nearly double the requested amount so our traveling public will be safer. That's new technology in the screening process that allows them to have a better look. The present time that it was going to take to roll that out would have been such that by the time it was fully rolled out, there would be undoubtedly new technology available. Let's get it done now. Give those folks the benefit of that doubt. You mentioned China, Mr. Chairman. As China continues to grow its military, economic, and political influence in the Indo-Pacific, the U.S. must have a persistence and a presence in the region. The bill expands Coast Guard in the Indo-Pacific region, which may be news to some people, but they have a significant mission. This bill includes funding for 4 fast response cutters, new ones, $60 million to extend the service lives for medium endurance cutter, and $4.2 million for increased maritime engagements to expand partnership and exercise the nation's bilateral and multilateral agreements in the Indo-Pacific. The bill funds the core responsibilities of the department that protects the homeland. I yield back.
Thank you for your testimony, Representative Underwood. Your